raise of hand. Who'd like the first question?
The question is, with all the change that the panel has spoken about this morning, what type, and most of us in my generation now, parents of young children, so what type of education should we give, what type of skills should we give to our children, and also for the students who are now studying, what type of skills they would need to learn to face the changes in the world?
I think it's a very good point. I think the number one skill we need to develop in the education system is creativity. I think the biggest mistake we've made in the last few decades is to continue the industrial model of education, where there's one right answer in one culture. And for a global culture to evolve, and for us to deal with the challenges we face today, people are going to have to think outside of the box at least half of the time. So for me, creativity, 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 and then innovation, which is the application of that creativity to the real problems we face today.
I would add to that diversity, right? I think that there is a trend in many European countries, and certainly in the US, that schools are being defined by geographical areas and therefore just attract a certain group of children. And I think it's incredibly important, due to the global nature of the economy and the society that we're in right now, to promote diversity, to make sure that we engage and we see and we talk to people who are from completely different backgrounds than we are, both socially, economically, and geographically.
Just to emphasize one point, really following up on Martin's introduction, which I thought was very, very powerful today. It's social skills. It's the kind of teamwork, it's the ability to stand up, make presentations. It's all of what you learn in AIESEC, which makes it so important, adding to what the previous two speakers have said. Thank you.
Super, thank you. Now you'll see how this works now. We have a person with a microphone.
Good morning, Catalysing. I was in AIESEC in India. I now work at Pfizer, live in the UK. The global economy is growing. There's absolutely no doubt about that, and we're seeing that permeate and we're seeing that grow from the major centers to other parts of the world. However, there are still many, many parts of the world that don't have access to basic infrastructure. People don't have water, clean water. People don't have electricity. I'd love to hear your thoughts on what we can do as a powerful network, what we can do, use information, what we can do with the technology and the resources that are in parts of the world to ensure and to accelerate the reach of this infrastructure to parts of the world that need it. And I also want to make an observation, something that I've noted in India. There are parts of the country that don't have running water, that don't have electricity, but where the mobile phone has reached and where Coca-Cola has reached. So where there's money in it for somebody, things seem to find a way to happen. So what can we do as a network collected here today to really implement the solution?
I'd like to recommend, as somebody who grew up in Africa and saw all of this firsthand, that we each have to adopt a village. I suggest that AIESEC and certainly Renaissance too are going to be looking for funding not only support the Millennium Village concept, which is a wonderful scheme that is actually working, but what we need to do is scale this up 1 million times. We have, what, 800,000 AIESEC alumni? It doesn't cost a lot to adopt a village. And it's very, very gratifying to see the results of the changes that can happen in a very short space of time. So, adopt a village. Let's work out the details.
Each of these countries to develop people that have the skill to attract investment. And I'm talking about supporting people in the regions of Africa, Middle East and North Africa, Latin America and some areas of Asia Pacific. Is bringing a platform there where especially young people is able to learn the skills to see a need, transform it into a business opportunity. It can be from the social point of view, from the mere profit point of view, and to actually raise the funds for that. I think that there is really good people there. But what I notice is that the mindset is not letting these people go.
There are some very good things happening in addition to the villages at the macro level. For instance, the Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative is one of them. So you're giving local civil society, the local citizens, the opportunity to find out what the earnings are from natural resources in very poor countries like Angola, like Nigeria, and so on. And so empowerment of local populations to hold their governments accountable is one thing we need to work towards. And of course that goes along with building democracies, supporting the development of political parties.
One of the encouraging statistics that's emerged recently is the fact that if a woman believes her children are likely to survive beyond the age of 5, she'll have fewer children. And what is the #1 issue to ensure that she believes that? Clean water. Because most children under the age of 5 in the developing world die of diseases borne by water. #2, the fact is that we are experiencing a turning down in the global population curve. So to give you an example, the Millennium Development Villages, which the United Nations has sponsored in Africa, are a huge success. And they're now expanding their success formula, which is a combination of technology, of assistance, of their own skills and talents to make that village work. Yeah? And then the population rate comes down and everybody has a sustainable future. We have to do that another 1,000,000 times.